There you are, sir.
Thank you. So where'd you learn to cook this?
Do what?
The pufferfish. You're supposed to go to school for 3 years to be able to prepare it.
I didn't go to school anywhere, but I did stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night.
So, while I only have a few hours left to live, let's go back to the office and I will tell you all about tetrodotoxin. I'm Samuel Phillips, and I will be telling you all about tetrodotoxin, also referred to as the pufferfish poison. So where can it be found? Tetrodotoxin, or TTX, is most commonly found in aquatic organisms, like your tetrodontiforms, such as pufferfish, toadfish, triggerfish, and the mola, also known as oceanic sunfish. All of the members of the octopus family will have it, and it's very significant in the blue-ringed octopus. Naticity snails, like moon snails, can also have it, and several species of newts, like the eastern newt in Georgia, can also possess the poison, in which it is excreted through the skin. So, tetrodotoxin is a polycyclic hydrocarbon with the formula C11H17N3O8, and it is a polar compound. And here I have a three-dimensional interpretation of the molecule, showing you all the different bendings and stuff like that for the different rings found on the molecule. Tetrodotoxin kills by blocking sodium channels and prevents signals from passing between nerves and muscles. This can result in early symptoms like numbness and tingling, especially around the mouth if ingested, and can lead to more serious issues like muscle paralysis, which can result in death due to respiratory arrest. The potency of this toxin is seen in its lethal dose, or LD50. Oral exposure possesses an LD50 of roughly 334 micrograms a kilogram, and intravenous exposure or injection, like venomous animals will do, possesses an LD50 of 8 micrograms per kilogram. This can be compared to hydrogen cyanide, a very well-known poison for its lethality. It has an LD50 of roughly 3,700 micrograms a kilogram, showing that tetrodotoxin is over 100 times more potent. The average time till death can vary depending on the exposure that the individual has had, but in general, it can occur in as little as 20 minutes for an acute poisoning and up to 24 hours for smaller doses. Most deaths occur within 4 to 8 hours from exposure. If the individual does manage to survive, they will make a recovery without any lasting complications of the poison. Here is a graph that demonstrates the mortality for mice when administered different amounts of tetrodotoxin, and also provides the survival time. So, for example, you have your mice, 3 mice that were given 1 milligram or 1,000 micrograms per kilogram of tetrodotoxin. All 3 mice wound up dying, with the fastest death being roughly 7 minutes. For 500 micrograms, or 1/2 of a milligram, all but one of the mice administered wound up dying, with the fastest time to death being a minute. Roughly around the LD50 at 250 micrograms a kilogram, 4 out of the 7 mice wound up dying, with the longest one lasting 100 minutes after exposure. For the rest of the mice that were administered amounts smaller than 250 micrograms, all of the mice wound up surviving, and the time was ended at 120 minutes, and all the mice wound up surviving. So, common methods of exposure. There are two common routes that can be bites from venomous animals in the case of the blue-ringed octopus, which is capable of biting through wetsuits, and ingesting contaminated meats, whether it be improperly prepared fish that contain the toxin, or after you have handled a organism like the eastern newt that does contain the toxin in its skin, can secrete it through its skin. Your hands contain it. So here is a graphic that was taken from National Geographic. It shows the rough estimate on how many times more poisonous it is than cyanide, roughly 1,200 times more potent. It describes how many different species of pufferfish there are, more than 120. It shows you again the molecule of tetrodotoxin as well. And one pufferfish, depending on the species, has roughly enough toxin to kill 30 adults, and there is no known antidote for the toxin. So, common methods of exposure with bites. Bites often occur when people either see the very colorful octopus or when they go to save a small brown octopus from a tide pool around East Asia area and Australia, in which case the octopus will flash its brilliant yellow and electric blue colors, at which point it is usually too late and the individual has already been bitten. They may not notice the bite, as they are often painless, and you will never notice it really until symptoms begin. This tiny cephalopod, like shown, contains more than enough venom to kill 20 adults within minutes. So oral ingestion often comes from consuming ill-prepared pufferfish, as seen in the video. The poison resides in the organs and blood, so the heart, liver, kidneys, gonads of the pufferfish will all have it, and if any of this was to come in contact with the meat of the puffer, it is contaminated and cannot be served. Special care must be taken, and chefs that wish to serve this fish need to undergo 3 years of intense training just to be able to serve the deadly fugu puffer. There has been some medical research into tetrodotoxin. There are some tests that show that it can help with treating heroin withdrawals. Tests have been done with simulated brain tissue, and it was found that the toxin results in over 400 different RNAs to be expressed in abnormal ways, some of which could be used to mediate uncontrolled apoptosis, which could result in cancerous abscess. And it could also be used to help cancer-related pain. Here are the references. And here are two of the pictures relating to the video. You have a friend of mine, Charlie Kavanaugh, who was the waiter in the video. And here is the food that was eaten in the video, prepped by Charlie, plated and all that. And felt like there was some honorable mention needed for it. And another special thanks to Ty Norman for being the one to record the video.
I didn't go to school anywhere, but I did stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night.
So, while I only have a few hours left to live, let's go back to...